Ain't nobody, they can't fire me. I make too much money to get fired. So they can't fire me. First of all, they fire me, they got to pay me for 7 years, and I'm gonna quit way before then. But if they want to fire me, I would love for them to do.
Like, come on, man. I mean,
but that's cause you fools on other networks, which we gonna become fools next year. We be working on that network. But Oklahoma City and the Cavs been balling for 6 months.
Looks like there's some serious drama bubbling behind the scenes, and it might finally explain why Charles Barkley's leveling up at ESPN, while Shannon Sharpe's moves are getting messier by the day. At first, it seemed random, Shannon stepping back just as Charles was stepping up. But now, leaked audio and whispers from insiders are revealing something way messier. Word is, Shannon allegedly tried to block Barkley's ESPN deal while his own career was crumbling, thanks to that wild lawsuit and a string of off-camera blunders. And here's the kicker. Even with Charles Barkley's off-script rants, wild takes, and his open shots at ESPN itself, they're still rolling out the red carpet for him. No suspensions, no pushback, just full support. Why?
He said the Lakers, first of all, the Lakers have had a great 2 weeks. He said the Lakers saved the NBA season. That's because them fools on the other network, which we're going to be working for next year, that's all they talk about.
Why is ESPN riding with Chuck so hard while slowly icing Shannon out? Was Shannon out here secretly trying to get Barkley canned? Is this a straight-up jealousy move? Or is there something even shadier going down behind the scenes? Sources close to ESPN say Shannon's been heated ever since Barkley started popping up more often on their shows. Let's be real. Barkley's got that raw energy, blunt talk, and fans have always rocked with him. So when TNT lost the NBA rights, ESPN swooped in quick to lock him down. And Sharpe, already under fire after that intense lawsuit filed by a young woman, reportedly just barely into adulthood, it sounds like he saw his spot slipping and panicked. Word on the street is Shannon Sharpe tried pulling strings behind closed doors to keep Chuck far away from ESPN. Straight sabotage. And get this, insiders claim Shannon even tried sliding some of Barkley's old dirt to the execs, hoping they'd shut down the deal before it went through. But guess what? That move blew up in his face. And here's the real twist. Those past controversies Shannon allegedly tried to leak, they're not old news. They're fresh. Barkley's still been stirring things up lately, and it's all out there in the open. But ESPN, they don't seem to care one bit. Let's rewind to 2022.
I've been going back and forth with TNT for the last 2 months, whether I'm gonna work 2 years or 3 years. But if I really wanted to, I could stay for 7 years, which there's no chance of that happening, zero.
Barkley inked a monster 10-year, $210 million deal with TNT, but he didn't even act like he planned to ride it out. Chuck said straight up, he's got maybe 2 years left in him. That's it. He made it clear. He's about work-life balance, and he's not gonna let any network run him into the ground. And he didn't stop there. Barkley even tossed a little shade at ESPN's grind culture, saying, I ain't gonna be working like no dog like Stephen A. Smith. That wasn't just a joke. Chuck drew a bold line right there. He's not down with being overworked like the others. Now you'd think ESPN would pump the brakes after that, right? Nope. They're still rolling out VIP treatment, giving him full creative control and a big piece of their NBA plans. On top of that, Chuck's been vocal about how he really feels about ESPN's direction. He thinks they might ruin the inside the NBA vibe. Too many ads, too much structure, and not enough of that raw, unfiltered energy that made the show a hit. Now this is where it gets extra messy. Fans aren't the only ones side-eyeing this whole situation.
I'm not taking no job, and I know how, number one, the most important thing is how much I'm going to work. That's been my biggest gripe, to be honest with you. Like, well, how much am I going to work? I mean, the notion that I'm gonna work more as I get older, that's just not.
Sports insiders, media critics, and even Charles Barkley himself have been saying it loud and clear. ESPN's about to mess this all the way up. And let's be real, ESPN's got a history of playing it too safe, polished, corporate, and way too obsessed with keeping everything squeaky clean. Unlike TNT, where Chuck could do his thing with no leash, ESPN is known for trimming loud voices down to fit their brand. Stick to the script, read the prompter, stay on message. But that's not Charles Barkley, and it never has been. Need proof? Chuck once called a new TNT pilot the stupidest ish I've ever seen. On the record, anybody else would have been dropped like a bad habit after that. But Barkley, still good, still signed, still untouchable. He even ripped into ESPN for hyping up Anthony Edwards as the next NBA star before the kid even proved himself. And still, no punishment, no fine, no suspension, nothing. Just business as usual. Now imagine you're Shannon Sharpe for a second. Reports say he was close to landing a $100 million deal until it all started crashing down. That lawsuit, the IG Live slip-up.
Been telling y'all that for 2 months. Hey, ESPN, I love you guys. Don't try to make Anthony Edwards the face of the NBA. The face of the NBA is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Joker, and Giannis. You can't give it to people. They have to take.
And all those whispers about tension inside ESPN. Then here comes Barkley, fresh off dragging ESPN in public. And they hand him the keys? Protected, promoted, practically treated like a legend. No wonder Shannon's heated. This ain't just about TV. It's about power moves and double standards. It makes total sense why Shannon's allegedly feeling some type of way. The double standard is loud and clear. And here's where things start looking real shady. Word is, once Barkley caught wind of Shannon trying to block his ESPN bag, he clapped back on air saying he's too expensive and can't be fired. That wasn't just a flex, that was a warning. Chuck wasn't just talking slick, he was letting folks know he holds serious weight at ESPN. And he's right, they need him right now more than ever. That's when Shannon's alleged insecurities really started showing. Instead of focusing on cleaning up his public image, he's been trying to run defense by coming after Chuck.
Ain't nobody, they can't fire me. I make too much money to get fired. So they can't fire me. First of all, they fire me, they gotta pay me for 7 years, and I'm gonna quit way before then. But if they wanna fire me, I would love for them to do that.
But it's looking less like strategy and more like panic. Now, insiders say Charles definitely found out what was going on. And let's just say, he's not with the games. Barkley isn't known for sneaky backroom drama, but when he's fed up, he's gonna speak on it. And right now, he's busy locking in major deals, staying on screens, and staying unbothered. Meanwhile, Shannon's path is looking like a slow-motion crash. Real talk. And now the biggest shadow hanging over it all, the lawsuit. Gabriella Zinga accused Shannon of SA and threats, claiming their alleged relationship started when she was barely legal. That's a serious hit to his reputation. Whether or not all the facts are out yet, but it doesn't stop there. Just weeks before that lawsuit went public, Shannon went live on IG and forgot to log off. And man, that video, not a good look. It only added more fuel to the fire already burning around him. Let's just say that IG Live moment showed some questionable behavior and gave people even more reason to side-eye Shannon. One commenter didn't hold back. Shannon Sharpe ruined his own career. He's got no one to blame but himself. Another nailed it. Sounds like Shannon mad because they gave Barkley his raise. Jealousy? The internet's screaming it. Now let's get into what folks are really thinking.
Let me tell y'all something.
Tell me something.
And first of all, I want all the smoke. I don't whistle when I walk by the graveyard or anything like that.
I don't whistle when I walk by the graveyard.
Right.
I like that.
Hey, man.
I'm stealing that one.
The Lakers are
Jealousy, plain and simple. Love him or hate him, Charles Barkley is a legend. He's always been real, always been funny, and never switches up. And the wild part, he's not coming into ESPN solo. Nope, he's pulling up with the whole Inside the NBA squad. That means Shaq, Kenny, Ernie, and the full TNT production crew. The same set, the same vibe, the same raw energy, just stamped with an ESPN logo now. While Shannon was out here trying to hold his ground, Barkley was setting up a full takeover. Think about it. ESPN didn't just sign one man. They signed a movement. That's not a promotion. That's a straight-up replacement. Insiders are already buzzing that Barkley's crew is about to anchor the next era of ESPN's NBA coverage, possibly pushing Shannon and others further into the shadows. And here's the kicker. Rumor has it Barkley might even get a say in picking the new talent lineup. That's real power. So while Shannon's stuck playing defense, Barkley's out here calling shots like a boss. So what does Barkley have now? Power, influence, and serious pull. The kind Shannon Sharpe used to have, but clearly doesn't anymore. And here's a wild theory that's catching fire fast. What if ESPN actually wants this beef to go down? Think about it. Controversy brings views, drama gets clicks, and with both Shannon and Barkley trending non-stop, ESPN might just be sitting back, letting the mess unfold while the money rolls in. Meanwhile, Shannon's credibility keeps taking blow after blow. And to make things worse, he's out here moving petty. Word is he's been upset about not getting a pay bump to match Chuck's massive deal. Plus, the lawsuit has allegedly led to ESPN slowly pushing him off to the side. People online aren't sugarcoating it. One brutal comment read, "Come on, Shaw. Chuck ain't out here messing with barely legal girls. He deserves his shine. Don't hate, you fumbled your own bag." Cold? Maybe. But it's clear folks are connecting the dots. And speaking of connecting dots, let's talk about the real twist that's shaking things up. Shannon's reportedly blaming Shaquille O'Neal for some of his downfall. Yep, turns out Shaq and Barkley are both stepping right into Shannon's old spot at ESPN.
Oh, come on, man.
But in all sincerity, I'm extremely embarrassed that a very, very private, intimate situation the audio can be heard.
TNT may have lost the NBA rights, but Shaq and Chuck are landing on their feet, front and center at ESPN, exactly where Shannon thought he'd be. And if you've been paying attention, you already know there's been low-key tension between Shaq and Shannon for years. And now, it's looking like that Cold War is turning real hot. Petty shade on air, sneaky jabs in interviews, slick shots on IG. The tension between Shaq and Shannon's been bubbling for years. But now, it looks like Shaq might have been playing the long game. Just weeks ago, a leaked audio clip surfaced, allegedly catching Shaq talking to a known media fixer, someone who specializes in digging up dirt on high-profile names. In the clip, a voice that sounds a whole lot like Shaq says, "Find me something real on Shannon. I know it's there. I want the stuff that sticks." And the response, "Ooh, let me work on that one right quick." That's a tough one. Not long after that, boom, the lawsuit dropped and Shannon's empire started crumbling piece by piece. Coincidence or something way more calculated? That's the question everyone's asking. Meanwhile, with Shannon already under the microscope for some off-camera drama, it all turned into the perfect storm. And ESPN execs, they're watching it all go down.
Like I said, even though the name changes, the engine is still the same. And to that new network we coming to, we're not coming to F around. And since it's the last show, I'm gonna say it. We're not coming to F around. We kicking ass, we taking names, and we taking over.
Publicly, they're backing Shannon. But behind the scenes, word is they're slowly pushing him out the door. They've already greenlit Barkley's brand new NBA studio show. And rumor has it, Chuck's gonna have major input on the talent lineup. Translation, Shannon's spot might already be up for grabs. Let's be real. Why would ESPN hold on to someone bringing heat for the wrong reasons when they've got Barkley, who's practically a ratings machine? ESPN's clearly all in on big personalities. That's why they signed Pat McAfee. That's why Stephen A. Smith is everywhere. And now, Charles Barkley is their next heavyweight star. Sources say Charles Barkley's name is plastered all over ESPN's internal pitch decks. He's being sold as the everyman voice of the NBA, the guy who can cut through the corporate talk, call out the nonsense, and still rake in ad dollars. And that's where Shannon's alleged insecurity kicks in. Instead of fixing his image, he's out here swinging at Barkley. But honestly, it's looking more desperate than smart. So what's next? Barkley's locked in. He's already said he's got a couple more years left before retirement, and until then, he's riding this ESPN wave all the way to the bank. And trust, he's not losing a wink of sleep over Shannon. Now Shannon, if he doesn't pivot fast and get that lawsuit behind him, this might be the start of a full-on fall from grace. He had a solid run, no doubt, but right now, it's looking shaky. That ESPN seat might not be his for long. But let's keep it real. This doesn't have to be his final chapter. Shannon's still got name value. He's still got a fan base.
Ooh, let me work on that one right quick. That's a tough one.
All right, and remember, I'm paying top dollar for all that information. Love you, boy. Hey, don't tell nobody.
All right, one.
All right.
And if he can get this legal mess cleared and take back control of his image, a comeback ain't impossible. Could be a Joe Budden-style reinvention or a full fade-out. So here's the real question. Was Shannon Sharpe really trying to sabotage Barkley? Or is this just a messy cover for his own career collapse? Did ESPN make the right call betting big on Chuck? Let me know what you think in the comments, because this drama's heating up and we need to talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and drop your take below. Catch you on the next one.